Hello, hello again. It's Julie coming at you again live from my deck right here, 4 o'clock on a gorgeous Western Pennsylvania Saturday. And I hope you have all had a great week. I got to tell you guys, it's been another doozy of a week. I am so glad it's the weekend. I was even off a couple days and it is just flying by. But oh my gosh, the weather is gorgeous. I don't know if you can see that behind me there. You see that gorgeous weather? I'm loving it. So I hope that you are enjoying your weekend as much as I am. I was excited to get back talking to you guys. I love doing this for you guys every week. And please remember, if you're liking what I'm doing, subscribe and hit that like button below. I love, love, love seeing those thumbs up. It's really awesome when I get those. You guys are amazing. That's why I do this. I just hope that I'm helping you, and I hope you like the advice I'm giving and some of the tips, because believe me, everything I talk about, I'm learning myself. And I've learned a lot since I've started doing this. So welcome back, whether you're watching it live or on the replay. Thank you for joining me and being here. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about decluttering our lives. Doesn't that sound like fun? We all have that little clutter in our lives. Sometimes it's a big clutter, but I can tell you, whether it's work or it's home, it does not matter. It's everywhere. Let's face it, we're surrounded by clutter in our lives. And clutter can be really stressful, and it can create a lot of anxiety. But, let's face it, unfortunately, there are some people out there, they take clutter to the next level. They have clutter literally up to their ceilings in their homes. We've seen the TV shows where some people have so much clutter in a room, they'll start with a maze in the room and then eventually it's gone. You can't even go into the room anymore because the clutter is so bad, and that's kind of a whole other level of something that we're not going to talk about during this session. But I think we all, and I don't care who you are, I think all of us at one stage in our lives, because I know I'm there now, we really need to declutter our lives. You know, all having clutter around us all the time, it makes you feel like you're kind of fenced in. And, but what does it mean? What does it mean to declutter our lives? And I think most of us relate to the television shows where we saw like the physical, but we're talking about four different things. It can be four different things. It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be emotional, or it could be spiritual. So there's a couple of different areas it could be. You know, so the first one is physical decluttering. So we're talking about both home and work. We can declutter both places. We got it both places. We can tackle it. Then there's mental decluttering, which means, do you need health assistance? Do you need therapy? Do you need, medication? Do you need a calmness app that's out there? That can be challenging just as much as, physical clutter can be. And then there's emotional decluttering. And what this involves is saying no to people, getting rid of toxic people. You may need to leave a job. We're talking more about those around you when it comes to the emotional part of it. And then there's spiritual decluttering. I think most people, not everybody, but most people admit, and they've done polls and stuff, where everybody feels that there is some type of a higher being. And I've said on here before, and I'm not ashamed of it, I'm a Christian, but there are other types of feelings that people have, that there's some higher force, that there's some higher being that's higher than them. So focusing on something higher as well. So, but why is it important? Why is it so important to declutter our lives? It's there, it's been there forever. Well, why? Why is it important? Well, when you take on the challenge to declutter your life, You are going to allow yourself, and while it's a challenge, to have a better quality of life in all areas. We're not talking about just decluttering the one area, we're talking about all of them. It allows you to become more focused, and it allows you to have a lot more clarity of things in your life. And one way I like to think of it, and this is something that I want to do, and I have been trying to do it in one area of my life. I haven't been successful yet, but I'm not giving up on it, is reinventing yourself. You know, we get in these ruts, that we're always doing the same thing, but reinventing yourself, how exciting is that? How cool is that? You know, that could majorly help self esteem. Doing something new is always exciting. Even though change can be scary, it can be fun and exciting. So, what are some steps? What can we do to declutter our lives? And by one of my favorites, and it's my favorite if you're one of my regular subscribers and you're watching me all the time, one of my favorite things to say is baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Take little baby steps. Do not overwhelm yourself, because if you overwhelm yourself when trying to declutter all these areas of your life, you're not going to stick with it. You're going to get frustrated, going to get overwhelmed, and you're not going to want to do it, and you're going to give up. Well, we don't want you to give up. We want you to keep going. I want to keep going. And, make it a part of a constant normal task. And there is my friend Dan. Oh, there it is. I like to do a daily mental floss, just like I do my teeth. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is amazing. And that is so awesome that you do that every day. Um, that's a really good way to start your day out. Getting mentally with yourself, especially at the beginning of the day, because I got to tell you, I'm not a morning person. I will never be a morning person. But I do have to tell you, on my way to work, I do kind of focus on myself. And yes, I talk to myself, and no, it's not a bad thing, and there's no one else there, and I fully admit it. Um, but we need to do this as something regular and normal in our lives, to keep ourselves focused and to keep that clarity there. And and when we're talking about our homes, and this was a good tip. And doing my research, I found this out, and this is a good tip. Start with the room in your house that is the one you live in the most. That's the most popular room that your family, whomever that you entertain in. Start with that room. Declutter that room. It's the one you're in the most. It can have the most effect on you, since you're spending a lot of your time in that room. And then once you achieve that goal of doing that room, then you can move on to the other rooms, because you've shown you've done it. And you can move on to just open it up to the rest of the house and, go room to room. And let's talk about organizing our workspace. Now, by workspace, I'm talking about both home and work. I mean, because obviously at work, whether you're in a production job, which I have been, you have your area that you are assigned to work in, or you have a desk, whatever it is. But at home, you also have an area you work in as well. Whether it's your kitchen, which is kind of a lot for me. My workspace is in my living room, and I have to tell you right now, yes, it is cluttered. Yes, it needs to be decluttered. It's kind of getting a little out of control. I've tried to organize it a little, but you know how that goes. It just kind of keeps piling up. But you need to have your space. You need to have a space that's going to help you to be productive, and it's going to help you keep that focus in your life. And in that organizational space, or wherever it is, go through your digital spaces as well. Now, you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the phone, your phone. I'm talking about your email. I am talking about your text messages. I'm talking about social media. Yes, I said it. Emails, whatever it is. They can get cluttered very quickly. You know, as a society, we live with our phones. I've left my phone at home a couple of times, when I've gone into work, and I feel like I've lost an appendage of my body because I feel lost without my phone. We live on our phones. That's the society we're in now. Go through all of your accounts, go through your social media, whatever you have, go through them, because let me tell you something. Let's face it, there's so much negativity out there. We don't need any more negativity in our lives than already comes at us. You know, get that negativity out of your life as much as you possibly can. Clean it up. Clean it up, get in there and clean it up. Clear your mind is another good thing to do. Along with cleaning up physically, we need to clean up mentally. So inside and out, identify what some of your negative thinking is. You know, and this is a challenge. Physical is tough enough, but when we're talking about a mental challenge, this is a big one. You know, identifying negativity, and I don't have a golden spoon in my mouth. Trust me. When I talk about these things, I'm referring to me too. I'm learning along with you guys in doing this. You know, um, when they say clear your mind, I know right now, I go through times where I'm a lot more stressed, I have a lot more anxiety, and there's a lot of negativity going on. And it's mostly work related, it's not home related. But identifying that can be a challenge sometimes, because you get into that mode. You get into that funk that you're just feeling it, feeling it, feeling it. So one of the things you can do as far as your life goes is free up your time. Get rid of the old stuff. And I'm talking about activities you like to do. Maybe you're doing stuff because you've always done it, or maybe somebody's talked you into doing something because you've done it in the past. And it's probably something you don't enjoy doing, but you go because they want to go, or if it's just something that you've always done. You know, you really need to get that old stuff out of your life. Put the things in your life that you like to do. There's not a that's not a guilty pleasure. That's something that you deserve, that you should be doing. I mean, that's going to give you the happiness you deserve. Do what you like to do, you know, and like I said, become aware of your feelings. And this is different from like the negativity. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about on a spectrum, watch how your feelings go as time goes on. I'm not talking about like a one moment thing. I'm talking about, are you always feeling stressed? Are you always angry? That's me. I'm always angry. I have a very highly demanding job, very stressful, a lot of anxiety, and I have a lot of anger. And I'm dealing with it. I deal with it pretty good, and I don't have that when I'm not there. But it's tough. We're all living it. We get it. But we need to take care of ourselves. You need to take care of you. I need to take care of me. No one else is going to do it. We need to do it. We need to become aware. You know, listen to yourself. Take a moment, listen to yourself. What is it that you're feeling? You know, and talk a little bit more about freeing up your time. Be intentional, whatever commitments you make. Like I said, if you're doing something that isn't helping you to grow as an individual, as a person, because let's face it, what was important to us when we were younger, as time goes on, our goals change, our priorities change, who we are changes as a person, and what's important to us changes. If something isn't letting us continue to grow as an individual, kick it to the curb, get it out of there, get rid of it. Do commit to things in life that gives your life purpose and meaning. Do something that's meaningful to you. And moving on to the next thing, I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say it tongue in cheek a little bit. It's one of the things that they recommend, but I want to add my twist to it. Let's face it, we're creatures of habit. We all are. As human beings, that's just the type of thing that we do. We like habit. We like routine. We feel comfortable in a routine. But when we're in a routine, it doesn't allow us sometimes to analyze things on a continual basis because we get into that regular mindset. It doesn't allow us to recognize things that no longer have a meaning for us. We're just doing it because we're just going through the motions. We're going through the steps. That's the way we always done it. I hate hearing that, but it's very true because in my jobs, all the jobs that I've had, not just one of them, all the jobs that I've had, that's one of the famous things they have. Well, that's the way we've always done it. I'm sorry, but the constant every day in our lives is change. That's the only thing that's constant is change. Things never stay the same. You know, you need to look at your routine, break out of that routine. And if things don't have a meaning to you any longer, don't keep doing them. Change it up a little bit. It might be hard to get it into your regular routine, but you can do it, a little bit. Sometimes change is good. It's not always a bad thing. We need to remember that, and be selective on the information that you take in to your life. Now, by information, I'm talking about kind of a little bit what I mentioned before, media. I don't care what type of media it is. Let's face it, everybody out there has an opinion and we all have them and we're all entitled to our different opinion. But the problem is in today's society, it's a little rough to have an opinion if someone else's is different. We're seeing that change in society and it's not going in a good direction. We need to be selective and we need to choose information that's not only valuable, but it's from a reliable source. There's a lot of crap that's out there that's fanning the flames. It's just feeding the flames. We don't need that. Be discriminate on what information you take in. That's just clutter. It's just clutter you're adding to your life. Because as the saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. And that is very true. So let's mention family relationships. Yeah, this can be a tough one. There could be a couple different scenarios with your family. And let's face it, family relationships, they can be difficult and complicated at times. They can be loving. They can be wonderful. They could be a roller coaster. We all have our different experiences, with our families. God love them, but, family is family. So as far as your family goes, here's my 2 cents. Develop a greater, more growing relationship with the ones that you have that connection with. Put that into your life. That's something positive and something wonderful to have that family member in your life. I know right now I have a friend of mine who has reached out to his sister and they haven't talked for a while and they're reconnecting and they're both very excited about it. And so that's a good example of decluttering a part of your life. And I'm so excited for him that him and his sister are doing this. And it's great. It's great. But we also have those family members, and we all have them that are just difficult to spend time with. I'm not saying you hate them or you don't like them, but they're just really hard to be around. They're your family and you love them, but it's just not there. So try to reduce your amount of time with those types of family members. I'm not saying you ignore them. I am not saying you kick them out of your lives. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying limit that time and spend your time. Get that clutter out of your life and spend that time with your family members that you truly love, that you can grow, have a great relationship with. And along with that, evaluate your friendships. Now, this one's a little difficult for me because I have had to do this a couple times in my life, actually. One major one. But sometimes, it's the saying goes, sometimes people come into our lives for a reason. Sometimes they come into our lives for a season. And we've all had people like that in our lives. There was actually one major time in my life where I had to leave it. It was not healthy. It was not a good group to be hanging out with. Um, and I was not headed in a good direction in my life. And cold turkey, I just walked away. I had to. Sometimes you need to do that. It was very much clutter in my life, personally. And I can tell you, as hard as it was to walk away from it, to this day, I have not regretted it for 1 minute because my life has gone in a much healthier direction. Um, and I feel much more positive. I'm not drugged down. I'm not scared anymore. Um, so we need to look at those people around us and, surround yourself with the healthy relationships that people who care about you and the direction you're growing in, and vice versa. They would want someone like you in their lives. If you're growing and they're growing, that's a really win-win situation for both of you. All right. And then, I'm going to mention this one again, and this is about taking care of your body. And, we mentioned physically. Now, once again, this is garbage in, garbage out. If you're going to feed your face with all kinds of chips and garbage, the processed stuff off the shelf, your body's going to feel cluttered. It's going to feel very weighed down. You're not going to feel healthy. You're going to feel pretty crappy. And I had to look at myself, as I'm getting older, I'm not great at eating totally healthy across the board. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say I am because I'm not, but we need to eat well, try to make better choices, and I'm not saying don't take those snacks out of your life. I'm just saying you need to look at snacks as more of a treat. They shouldn't be part of your everyday life. They're not, they shouldn't be your go-to. They should be, you know, something that you treat yourself with. And excuse me. And also move. Now, and once again, I'm not saying you got to be turned into like, Mr. Super exercise and, just exercise 3 hours a day and do cardio, and work on your abs. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying any of that. And I'm going to show you this. I'll change hands here. I got a Fitbit, just got a Fitbit a couple weeks ago. And the reason I got this Fitbit is I have my butt sitting at a desk all day long. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being stressed out. I'm tired of sitting there all day long. So I got a Fitbit. And what it does, it reminds me to move. I set up a notification on it where if I'm sitting too long, I think I have it set for 45 minutes. If I'm not moving in 45 minutes, it's going to vibrate and beep on me and say, you need to move. So I will get up out of my seat, finish what I'm doing, get up out of my seat, and I will walk. I have actually walked around the inside of the building. I've just walked back to our receiving department. I will just walk. Sometimes I'll just walk around the office just to move a little bit. You need to remember to move, and sometimes it's really hard to do that, especially when you're at a desk and everybody's just bombarding you with things or asking you questions, all the distractions. But most of all, and along with that, pay attention to your mental state. Take time to do things that make you happy. Find what makes you laugh. Find who makes you laugh, right? Everybody loves to laugh. Everybody needs to laugh. Take care of yourself. Make those good choices in your life that's going to allow you to stay in a good mental state. Surround yourself with people like that and be that for others too. I try to make others laugh. I do this live stream because I want to help somebody. I want to help people, and I appreciate everybody that supports me and listens along. And stress and depression can sneak up on you, and it can sneak up on you very quickly without you even realizing it. I know. I've lived it. Stay cognizant of how you feel. Now I'm getting better at realizing I'm getting sucked in. And I just stop and I look out the window, or I stop what I'm doing and I get up and I move. I break that thought process. And it helps. It really does help to stop that thought process. I go talk to somebody, break that chain. Break that chain. You know, practice that basic life maintenance. Decluttering is not something that's a one-shot deal. This is not something you do once and then you don't do it again. Decluttering your life, getting all of that bogs you down out of your life, should be a long-term life strategy. Once you do it, get started the first time, which is challenging, but after that, if you do it as part of your normal everyday routine and you keep up doing it, make it a lifelong strategy. Do it every day. And then that way you won't end up feeling cluttered and weighted down. And why can decluttering change your life for the better? Well, it cleans up your life, clears your mind. It helps you to find the joy in your life. It allows you to feel vital again. It's something, when you declutter, it's very, very strongly empowering. And we all love to feel empowered. And this is one simple way we can do this. We have control of this, and anybody can do it. It's just getting that oomph behind it that needs to get you moving and get you to do it. And it can become a habit, just like anything else can. It's very much a balance in your life. And everybody can do it. We all can, and I'm challenging myself too. Don't count me out here. I'm challenging myself. So with all that said, I hope you find it in you to do some decluttering, whether it's at home or work or both, or even your truck. Yeah, my car. My car's another one too. I got to do some decluttering there too, but that's not as bad. But look around you. What needs to be decluttered? You can do it. You can do it. Hey, if I can take on the challenge to do it, you can do it too, for sure. So with that being said, I am going to give you my teaser for next week. Next Saturday at 4:00 Eastern Standard Time, like always. There was a posting that was on Facebook a couple weeks ago, and it made its rounds a little bit, and I posted it on mine because I loved it so much. Oh, Dan, cleanses our souls. Yeah, it does. It's very much cleanses my soul a lot. Whenever I realize that I've got way too much clutter going on up here. And yeah, for sure. I'm going to talk about this posting that was on Facebook. And I know sometimes Facebook can have some bad things happen, and, they get their digs, which is fine. And, rightfully so. But there are also a lot of good postings on Facebook that are very positive thinking, very encouraging. And this one hit home with me personally. So next Saturday, I am going to be talking about things I'm not going to apologize for anymore in my life. I'm done. It's going to be hard, but I'm not apologizing for things that matter to me. So we are going to talk about that next week. And I hope you will join me, are able to join me. And with that being said, I do this every week, and I'm going to do it. You ready? Here I go. We can do this. We got this. I can and I will. You will too. Because I believe in you. I definitely believe in you. So, everybody out there, thank you so much for joining me. Whether you're watching me live or the replay, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button below. And with that being said, have a great rest of your weekend. Have a very safe and great week next week. So until next time, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.